moving on here. A little LSU, Mississippi State. Again, for those watching, LSU, Mississippi State, the preview. Chris, what are your thoughts on Mississippi State?
You know, Mississippi State, I've watched a little bit on it. I haven't gotten a lot of time, me in particular, to see everything with this team, but they're 2-0. You know, they got to win against, excuse me, Southeast Louisiana. I believe it was like 48-7. Arizona in a close one last week. I think that came right down to the wire in overtime, 31-24, but they did pull out the W against a Pac-12 school, which we all know the Pac-12 has been surprisingly really good this year as far as the conference goes. But Will Rogers, right? We know who Will Rogers is. I mean, this guy can sling the ball. He's put up some pretty good numbers so far this year, 33 of 46, 389 yards, Christian, 5 TDs, no interceptions. That's huge so far. Ooh. Yeah, you can't beat that when your quarterback's throwing touchdowns right and left. Doesn't look like Josh Allen out there. We know the kid can sling the rock. We also know that Mississippi State's defense, though, also this year, which is where I love this about him, is only giving up 87 yards per game, Christian, on the ground. You're going against an LSU team. We know they're loaded. We know they got the more talent across the board. They're going to want to be able to run the ball with Daniels back there at QB. We saw it against Florida State. He even had some success in that game doing that. But can they shut that down, though, with LSU? And I don't even mean shut it down. I mean just keep it reasonable. Don't give up over 200 yards on the ground to LSU here. And I will say this about Mississippi State. Use the crowd in this game. Big home game for them. I think it's Davis Wade Stadium, I think it is, in Starkville there. It's one of the tougher places to play. It really is. I mean, you look this up online. You ever watch a Mississippi State game? They're loud as shit, dude. I think they're going to be into this game. I think Mississippi State's got to get off early and often here. Keep the momentum up if they get an early score, something like that, Christian. But I know you're big on LSU this year. We had a little disagreement about the Florida State LSU game, obviously, before it played. Christian loves his LSU Tigers this year, but Christian, enlighten me, buddy.
Yeah, I'm $500 in the hole thanks to you. Put the money to good use there, Chris. But here's my thing with LSU, right? I mean, they had a tough break, I feel like, against Florida State, especially on offense, whenever they got in the red area, and then also in the second half of that game, they kind of imploded a little bit. The good news is, right, the Tigers, they had a fantastic 72-10 bounce back game against Grambling. I know it's Grambling. It's not a major Power 5 program, but at least they didn't look sluggish, right? That's the big thing you want to look for in some of those games, especially where you see some of these other teams that come out and they shit the bed against some of these other schools, right? So that's a positive for me. I think the even better news, for LSU is they're playing a major game. They get defensive tackle Mason Smith back, right?
Yep.
And I think they've kind of figured out how to use Harold Perkins a little bit more effectively on the defensive side of the ball there, right? That all conference, potential best defensive player in all of college football, Harold Perkins. Chris, the biggest question mark I have coming into this game is who's going to step up and carry the workload in the run game, right? Somebody's got to take that pressure off Jaden Daniels, right? I mean,
absolutely.
It's one thing to get 100 yards or to get 80 yards against Grambling. Can you do it against an SEC opponent? Can you do it in a big game? And that's really what I want to see coming into this one here. I think, for LSU, they've got to come out and they've got to have strong play. Obviously, this is the SEC opener for them. Or are they going to come out flat? I mean, really, nothing shocks me with LSU anymore. I still am high on them. They still they got to win out, though, if they got any shot of making it to the playoff this year. I will say that. I'll go ahead and give you my final score predictions with it, Chris. I got LSU 35, Mississippi State 24.
Woo! God, we're close, man. We don't consult guys either before this. I like your take there. I think it's even closer, Christian. Give me LSU 27, Mississippi State 24. I think it comes down to the wire. I think that's going to be a really good game.